what's your prediction down the road for Social Security, and people that are already getting it? Do you think they'll be grandfathered in and nothing's going to happen? What's your take on that? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think you're asking a good question. Yes, when you take a look at the numbers, it's impossible for the government to keep the promises. Now, they're going to try to grandfather in people that already have it. But Stan, you've educated me that you've used that term contractually guaranteed.
Yes.
So if an annuity company wants to change my benefits, I can take them to court.
Absolutely. Okay? Without a doubt.
If Social Security wants to raise my Medicare premiums, okay, I'm screwed. So that I believe, and there have been proposals in the past where they wanted to means test it, okay, right. And now they're talking about a wealth tax and other things. So I'm telling my readers that yes, you should plan for Social Security in some form, but when you're running the numbers, it's not a solid number. I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah, and I think that, and people always say, well, I doubt if they're going to mess with Social Security because, you know, those people vote and that's a voting block, you know, with 10,000 baby boomers reaching the age of 65 every single day. Some of them retired, some of them not retired, but all of them thinking about retirement, right? Yeah. You know, that's a voting block they want to mess with. But I do think they will mess with what they perceive, the politicians perceive and define as rich. And unfortunately, a lot of our listeners and viewers are probably going to fall into the rich category and they don't even know they're rich. I mean, they've just penny pitched and saved and worked hard and done without and done the right thing. My fear is they're going to punish that if they're not already doing that. They're going to punish it even more because politicians, in my opinion, look at everything as a voting block, and rich people are a small voting block. In my opinion, that's where I think it's going to go. But these are weird times. Even you can admit that, having watched this for decades and decades and decades. What are you telling your readers about current market environment and valuations at this point? Don't they seem high?
Yes, they are. Stan, I want to address one real quick point about you and the government definition of rich. They have a history of doing that. When Bill Clinton passed what was the biggest tax increase in the history of man, it was to tax the rich. And I took an article out of the Wall Street Journal and sent it to my children. When you looked at the tax rates while they were blaring it as rich, the Wall Street Journal looked into it, and rich was defined, and this is back in the Clinton years, as a married couple with combined gross income of $75,000 or more. I sent that to my children. I said, they're not going after dad. They're going after you with kids and mortgage payment. Yeah. So that you have the rhetoric versus the reality of the rates. And what we're going to see is the rhetoric, but then when you start looking at the rates, it comes out something different. Now, onto the market, you know, for 10 years, we've been sitting there, you know, they were going to have one bailout to end all bailouts in 2008. Right. Now we've had two of them in the last 12 months and the third one going. So all of this has been pumping up the stock market. So a lot of pundits, myself included, are saying this cannot go on forever. I mean, look at history. The problem is investors don't have any place else to go like they used to. It used to be that if the stock market got high, you'd go to bonds and CDs. Right. Okay. That's off the table now. Yes, annuities can certainly help. So that the real issue is when you diversify and put together a portfolio, you hedge your bets. You have some preferred stocks. You're looking for dividend income stocks as opposed to those that are up 200% this year, but you want them to go up 200% next year. So I'm not investing for appreciation. Whatever I get is a bonus. I want to buy stocks in solid companies that are sending me dividends every quarter that aren't likely to fold if the business turns down. And I've got some preferred stocks that I've been in that I'm very comfortable with. But again, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because if you do, you're taking huge risk.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Living the reality, not the dream.